Investigators of Valley Homes searched in connection to the Tupac Shakur murder investigation nearly 27 years after his death.
The cops had no idea what they were about to uncover in Tupac's garage. When investigators finally cracked open that locked door in February 1997, 5 months after his death, they expected to see luxury cars and maybe some music gear. But what they actually walked into completely shifted how the world would later understand Tupac Shakur. And even more surprising, it exposed plans he'd kept hidden from everyone around him.
Police confirming they searched a home as part of their ongoing work to solve who killed the rapper and hip-hop icon.
The garage had been untouched since September 1996, stuck in a legal freeze while Death Row Records, Tupac's family, and multiple lawyers argued over rights and property. A judge finally ordered it open for inventory. When Detective Marcus Hendricks stepped inside, he instantly felt something was off. This wasn't a celebrity storage area. The walls were soundproofed. Heavy shelves lined both sides, everything labeled and dated like a professional workspace. And on the main workbench sat something that flipped the entire story of Tupac's last months.
The 8 News Now investigators, this search involves Dwayne Davis, also known as Keith D. Davis speaking publicly about the night Tupac died in videos on YouTube and in a book.
3 thick black binders dominated the table, each packed with hundreds of pages. The first binder held movie scripts, except they weren't films Tupac was cast in. These were projects he planned to direct. Production outlines, budgets, casting notes in his own handwriting. Proof he'd been studying filmmaking like he was preparing for a whole new career. One script, Thug Angels, focused on gang intervention work. Attached were real non-profit partnership proposals and plans for community screenings where the ticket money would go back into youth programs.
Tupac Shakur shot 4 times inside this BMW in this intersection near the Las Vegas Strip in September 1996. He would die from his injuries 6 days later.
The second binder hit even deeper. It was full of financial documents showing where Tupac's money actually went, and it wasn't the flashy spending people assumed. Bank statements revealed monthly contributions to bail funds for young people stuck on minor charges. Receipts showed he paid legal fees for families who needed help. Wire transfers proved he donated quietly to literacy groups, mentorship programs, and community centers across California. No publicity, no interviews, just silent support. One $50,000 donation went to a Watts literacy program 3 days before his Vegas trip. But the third binder held something that could have changed hip-hop forever if Tupac had lived to finish it.
He's speaking exclusively with paramedics in 2016.
We brought the gurney up,
over,
just pulled them out.
pulled them out, and that's when, everybody was yelling Tupac.
Inside were legal documents proving Tupac was building a record label independent of Death Row. Paperwork dated August 1996 confirmed he'd already registered Machiavelli Records, filed trademarks, and begun discussions with distributors who could release his music without Suge Knight's involvement. Business plans detailed how he wanted to sign young artists, build a production team, and create a long-lasting movement beyond his own albums. The proof was undeniable. Tupac was preparing to leave Death Row and launch a new empire.
It's happening, and he says he hopes it'll bring some more closure to the case.
I didn't think there'd ever be any more steps taken in this case.
Then the officers found a locked steel box behind a filing cabinet. After Afeni Shakur's attorney provided the code, they opened it to reveal a stack of mini DV tapes, each labeled with dates from July to early September 1996. When detectives played them, they saw Tupac alone in front of a camera, recording private video diaries. And what he said on those tapes stunned everyone who watched them.
27 years old. I can tell you exactly why it happened. It's happened because of Keith D. running his mouth.
These recordings showed a version of Tupac totally different from the aggressive persona in his music videos. He spoke about exhaustion, feeling trapped by the image the world expected from him, and realizing he couldn't keep living the same lifestyle. He talked about wanting to move to Ghana and make films about Black history without Hollywood interference. He mentioned writing a book about activism for young people. In a video dated September 3rd, just 4 days before the Vegas shooting, Tupac said he felt like he was running out of time. Not because of rap beefs, but because everything around him felt unstable. The tapes revealed a man desperate to break free from the persona he'd built, unsure how to escape without destroying his career. But everything changed when investigators reached the back of the garage and saw the BMW on the hydraulic lift.
Didn't really know it was going to have any historical significance. At that point, it was fixed and then sold to the general public, probably at an auction, something like that.
It was a black BMW 750 Illinois, the same model he rode in the night he was shot. But this one was spotless, unused, and records showed Tupac bought it 3 weeks before his death. The keys were in the drawer next to a note that read, "Exit plan. New York or Ghana. Decide by October." The trunk contained 2 duffel bags packed with startling items: passports, one real, one seemingly under a different name, $80,000 in vacuum-sealed cash, international calling cards, and a handwritten list of contacts in Jamaica, Cuba, and several African nations. Financial papers showed Tupac was secretly converting assets to cash and moving money offshore, away from death row's reach. Everything suggested that this car was part of a real escape plan. But what they found beneath the driver's seat raised even more questions.
Recently, Keefe D has written a book and made TV appearances detailing his involvement in Tupac's death.
A small leather journal contained entries from the week before the shooting. Tupac wrote about feeling watched and suspected someone was monitoring his movements. He mentioned concerns about death row's dangerous ties and a growing fear that he'd become a target. In an entry dated September 5th, he said he tried to cancel the Vegas trip repeatedly but felt pressured to attend anyway. The last entry, written the morning of September 7th, held one haunting line: "If tonight goes wrong, the BMW knows where to take them. Keys under the seat. Package in the trunk. Tell Mom I tried." It hinted that he planned for someone else to use that BMW to protect his family if things went bad. But whoever that person was never stepped forward, and the car sat untouched in storage for years.
That he's the one who handed Orlando Anderson a gun, and subsequently that gun is used to shoot Tupac.
The garage discovery completely reframed Tupac's final days. He wasn't reckless or waiting for disaster. He was planning an escape, starting new businesses, preparing for a different life, and trying to shield the people he cared about. The binders, diaries, BMW, cash, and documents didn't match the public image of an untouchable rapper. They showed a man trying to reinvent himself while surrounded by chaos. So why did he feel he needed an escape? The evidence suggested Tupac was trapped between 2 identities: the larger-than-life figure fans loved, and the thoughtful creator he actually wanted to become.
He's openly saying that he's, a significant part of this whole murder. How many times are you going to go on TV and say that before somebody's going to have to take some sort of action?
His secret donations proved he cared about communities more deeply than the media ever portrayed. His business plans showed he understood the industry and was ready to build something lasting. His video diaries revealed maturity and self-awareness. And the BMW escape kit showed he recognized the danger around him. When investigators finalized their report, they concluded that Tupac's death didn't just end a rap career. It crushed a carefully planned transformation that could have changed hip-hop forever. Those binders and tapes weren't just belongings. They were the blueprint of a second act the world never got to see.
Catch him up and say, wow, these are the same type of rounds that are in Tupac. Obviously, that kicks things up considerably. Will that happen? I think probably not, 26 years later, but certainly it's something that they're going to have to take a look at.
That garage kept Tupac's truth hidden until it no longer mattered. And when you look at everything inside, you can't help wondering what hip-hop would look like if Tupac had made it to October. If he'd driven that BMW to the airport, flown to Ghana, and started the new life he planned. The world didn't just lose an artist in 1996. It lost the future that was packed in those duffel bags and written in those binders. Locked away in a garage no one expected to open. Subscribe, like, and comment why you enjoyed this video for a chance to win a new Apple Mac